Chelsea escapes with a point at St James Park. From a complete game of 2 hours to Reece James leading a comeback. Sánchez masterclass. And now let's break it down and discuss what we learned from Chelsea 2, Newcastle 2. But before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. And don't forget to like the video and drop your comments in the comment section. Let's dive into it. This felt more like a point gain than a point lost. I wanted us to win, especially after going 2-0 down. But coming to St James Park against a physical, imposing Newcastle side that rattles us early, context matters. Chelsea showed real character after the break. We didn't get all the 3 points, but the response, the control in spells, the mentality shift told us more than the scoreline. And with Christmas coming up, there is plenty here to carry forward. Which brings me to the first thing we learned: a game of 2 halves. If you split this game into 2 halves, you would think you are watching 2 completely different Chelsea sides. The first 45 minutes, let's dress it up. We were awful. Newcastle came out aggressive, direct, physical. They did exactly what they do against us at St James Park. Press early, win second ball, force errors, feed off the crowd, and we walked straight into it. We had zero control in the opening period. No rhythm, no authority, no ability to slow the game down. Every defensive slip was punished. And before you know it, we were 2-0 down. The number tells the ugly story. 50% possession, 0 big chance created, 4 shots, 0 on targets. No threats, no composure, no foothold in the game. We weren't just outplayed, we were outmuscled, outthought, and outpaced. But then the second half happened, and everything flipped. Chelsea came out with belief, with intent, with purpose. Suddenly, we were the team dictating play. The ball moved quicker, the press had structure. We started winning duels higher up and forcing Newcastle back instead of reacting to them. And crucially, we began to play in their halves, not survive in ours. The second half numbers tell the story. 56% ball possession, 1 big chance created, 9 shots, 4 on targets. That's dominance, that's control. That's a team that finally decided to show up. And as Vince perfectly summed it up on Twitter, I'm not mad at the draw. It's not easy to go down 2-0 in this stadium and survive the second half. We just need to learn how to match their first intensity. That quote matters because it hits the real issue. Newcastle do this deliberately against us. They always come out swinging in the first half. High intensity, physical duels, quick transition, all designed to rattle us early and force mistakes. And too often it works. The contrast between the 2 halves wasn't just tactical, it was psychological. We tried to match Newcastle aggression with aggression instead of imposing our control from minute 1. And here's the uncomfortable truth. We can't look like a team that is lost for 45 minutes and world class the next. That kind of inconsistency isn't just a bad habit, it's a flaw in identity. And until we fix it, we will still be vulnerable against a well-drilled, high-energy side who knows how to unsettle us early. Which brings me to the second thing we learned: all-weather Reece James. Let's get one thing straight. Reece James didn't just score a sublime free kick, he dragged us back into this game. When Chelsea needed composure, leadership, and someone willing to take responsibility in a hostile stadium, Reece James stepped forward. That's what separates presence from performance. He finished the game with an 8.1 rating, and the numbers backed up the eye test. 1 goal, 84% pass accuracy, 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 accurate crosses, 4 defensive contribution, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 2 clearance, 2 ground duel won, 1 last man tackle. But stats tells only half the story. Reece James was involved in our best moments. He was defensively secure, progressive on the ball, and most importantly decisive when the pressure was highest. That free kick wasn't just technical quality, it was leadership. It was captain saying we are not folding here. In a season where leadership often arrives late or not at all, Reece James stands out. He's trusted with set piece, he embraced physical duels, he's technically elite, and the way he breathes the game. Halftime he looks like an extra midfielder. When our structure breaks elsewhere, Reece James gives us spine. And this is where conversation about consistency matters. Because look at what Moises Caicedo delivered alongside him. Caicedo dropped a 7.5 rating. And no, this wasn't a viral masterclass. But this is what elite consistency actually looks like. 87% pass accuracy, 70 touches, 2 successful dribbles, 8 defensive contribution, 3 tackle won, 5 interception, 9 recoveries, 9 ground duels won, 1 last man tackle. Nothing flashy, nothing chaotic. Just control, security, and intelligence. That's the difference between players who stabilize a team and players who only shine when things are easy. While others fluctuated with the chaos of the game, Reece James and Caicedo provided balance, one leading emotionally, the other anchoring midfield battles. If you are serious about improving away results, especially in hostile grounds like this. We need more player built like this, consistent tactical intelligence and comfortable in adversity. Which brings me to the third thing we learned: poor defensive display. Not just individuals, but systematic issues. Let's call it exactly what it was. Chelsea defensive display in the first half was sloppy, passive and undisciplined. 2 early goals considered, no real pressure on the ball, Newcastle cutting through us with straight line passes through the midfield. And the most worrying part, this happened despite us fielding our best centre-back pairing. This wasn't our personnel, this was about structure. Newcastle didn't do anything revolutionary. They played direct, attack spaces and punish hesitation, and completely exposed when the midfield protection disappeared. Let's talk individuals, because they didn't cover themselves with glory either. Wesley Fofana unfortunately was at the crime scene for the second goal. He finished with a 6.1 rating, and while there were moments of recoveries, his overall influence was shaky. 5 defensive contributions, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 3 clearance, 4 recoveries, 2 ground duel won. Not catastrophic but not commanding either. In games like this, centre backs need to impose authority early, and that didn't happen. Trevor Chalobah had a slightly better outing, finished with a 6.5 rating, 10 defensive contribution, 1 tackle, 3 interception, 6 clearance, 8 recoveries, 1 ground duel won, 2 area duels won. He read dangers better, but then this was more firefighting than control. And if the centre back struggled, the full back were arguably worse. Malo Gusto had a rough afternoon. He was cut out for the first goal and was consistently cooked by Anthony Gordon. There's no polite way to put it, but he finished with a 5.8 rating, 4 defensive contribution, 1 interception, 3 clearance, 1 recovery. He was late to engage, hesitant in 1v1 situation, and repeatedly exposed in transition. Very poor from him today. Marc Cucurella on the opposite flank wasn't better. He ended with a 6.5 rating, 6 defensive contribution, 1 tackle, 4 clearance, 7 recoveries, 2 ground duel won, 2 area duel won. He recovered more ground, but Newcastle still found joy attacking his side. But here is the key point, and this matters more than any individual rating. This is not a one-game blip, it's a pattern. When Chelsea aren't compact, our defenders hesitate, passing lanes open, pressure drops off, and suddenly, very average situation turns into high-quality chances for opposition. Defense doesn't start at the back four, it starts in front of them. When our midfield fails to scrim effectively, fail to slow transition, fail to win first duel, the entire defensive line is exposed. Against a physical, direct Newcastle side, that's a mistake you pay for, and we did. Yes, the second half was much better. Distance improved, the line stepped up. The chaos reduced, but the damage was already done. That first half defensive performance cost us control of the game from the very start. Which brings me to the fourth thing we learned: João Pedro promising spark. This one matters because moments like this can easily cloud judgment. João Pedro equalizer was huge, absolutely huge. He attacked the space aggressively, stayed composed under pressure, and finished clinically. Exactly what you want in a tight game where momentum is sleeping. He finished with an 8.2 rating, 1 goal, 2 shots, 1 on target. That's efficiency, that's control. And in that moment, he gave us belief. But here is where we need to be honest and not emotional. João Pedro is inconsistent. Outside the goal, there are stretches where he looks hesitant, completely disconnected from the rhythm of the game, and unsure how to assert himself. His movement was good in flashes, but not sustained. His decision making still fluctuates, and that's normal for a 24-year-old attacker who hasn't inserted himself in elite territory. Right now, we don't have a proven ruthless finisher leading the line, so moments like this from João Pedro matter. That keeps us competitive. There's swing games, but moments alone can't make a reliable match winner. And when you zoom out to the wider attacking unit, that inconsistency becomes even clearer. Cole Palmer, for example, finished with a 6.4 rating, 1 key pass, 0 accurate crosses. By standard, that was a quiet afternoon. I understand he's just returning from injuries, and context matters. But let's not pretend this was anywhere near his best. We expect more from him because he set that bar himself. And then Garnacho, who once again summed up the word inconsistency. He finished with a 6.1 rating, 2 key passes, 5 shots, 0 on target, 0 accurate crosses. Busy, yes. Dangerous in moments, yes. Decisive, no. And that's the issue. What this game highlighted is that while we have attackers capable of producing moments, we don't have enough players who can control games in the final third. João Pedro sits right in the middle of that reality. He's capable, he's technically sound, he has the tools, but he's not someone you can rely on to influence every big match. Which brings me to the last and final thing we learned: Robert Sánchez masterclass. Let's be honest, Sánchez was massive. Despite the chaos in the first half at the back, he kept us in the game. Crucial save, commanding presence, calm under pressure. Exactly what you need when the scoreline threatened to spiral. Without him, the comeback might have been impossible. He finished the match with a 7.4 rating, 1 assist, 3 saves, 1 punch, 1 high claim, 1 big chance created, 1 key pass. And here's the kicker. Robert Sánchez has created 5 chances in the Premier League this season, the most of any keeper. A first assist in the competition too. It wasn't about flashy highlight reel moments. It was about control, consistency and reliability. Commanding his area, reacting instantly under pressure, staying composed, and those are traits of a goalkeeper who you can build a team around. In a match where we could have folded mentally, Sánchez held the line. He gave Chelsea platform to recover and claw back from 2-0 down. If Chelsea want to compete consistently at the top level, they need a goalkeeper who doesn't panic under pressure. Saturday, Sánchez proved exactly that. In conclusion, Chelsea are an unpredictable team, capable of brilliant spells, capable of being thoroughly outplayed. That might earn points against mid-table sides, but it won't cut it if you are serious about top 4 or challenging higher. What we need is consistency, defensive cohesion, and more players like Reece James. Those who impose themselves every single week, regardless of the circumstance. This draw at St. James Park wasn't perfect, but it tells us exactly where we are. Talented, resilient, but still a work in progress. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Go be.